Hello there, welcome back to my views and news. Another video with news stories from Ethiopia. Two main news stories for you from the Amhara region. Firstly, Fano fighters have recaptured a strategic place in Gujam on Gujam Avi zone border. It's a very strategic place. From here you can move towards Valaga. From this place you can move towards Benishangal Gumuz region. You can obviously move towards Gojam too, and then you can move towards Bahida regional capital. It's one of the most strategic places in Gojam, and for the last 2 days there has been heavy fighting ongoing for the control of this place. Secondly, viewers, Fano fighters have shared a video of captured ENDF soldiers, Oromo soldiers. Oromo soldiers can be heard saying that Fano fighters are providing them with food, with clothes, etc. Firstly, viewers, Gujam, as I said in the last video, is totally destabilized. Fano fighters are either in control of most territories or they have presence close to big town cities. Regional government, zonal governments, local governments, totally dysfunctional. And Gujam shares border with Avi zone, which is a relatively stable zone. It shares border with Benishangal Gumuz region of Ethiopia. And Benishangal Gumuz is being used by Ethiopian military as its base because it's difficult to get supplies for military from Oromia. From Oromia, they have to pass through, the supplies have to pass through Gujam or through Shoa. So military is mainly using Benishangal Gumuz as its base. By air supplies can arrive to, and supplies from Tigray from afar also can enter Amhara. It's not that ENDF is totally encircled. On Gojam Avi zone border you can say, there is a very strategic place. Name of the town is Bure. Bure is split, you can say, for understanding, into two parts: Upper Bure, Lower Bure. Some people call it Old Bure, New Bure. Upper Bure is the part from where you can move towards Benishangal Gumuz region. Lower Bure is the part towards Finotesila. From Bure, you can move in 4 directions. If you are in control of Bure, it means you can move towards Valaga through Sahal. Sahal is along the road which connects Bure with Valaga. From Bure you can move towards Gojam, Protesilam, etc. From Bure you can enter Avi zone. Bure in Jibara, to the west Avi zone, or to the north you can move towards Bahida regional capital. So you see how strategic this place is. Military was in control of Upper Bure, the part of Bure towards Benishangal Gumuz region. It was under military control because the part of Bure towards Avi zone. From Avi zone, then you can move towards Benishangal Gumuz. And military was in control of this upper part of Bure. Fano fighters were in control of lower part of Bure towards Finotesilam. Fano fighters were trying to push towards Upper Bure. Upper Bure more strategic. And for the last 2 days, there has been heavy fighting ongoing. Last night, I got a report from Bure that military was retreating from Upper Bure. Fano fighters had managed to push towards Upper Bure. But we waited for confirmation. Now we have received confirmation that Fano fighters have captured both parts of Bure, Upper Bure and Lower Bure. Military is now in the outskirts. Military is not totally down and out. Reportedly, military is waiting for reinforcements. it's very likely, highly likely, that military would try to retake Bure, because Bure is so strategic, military would not leave Bure in the hands of Fano fighters. So counter-offensive is likely, but Fano fighters have made it back to Upper Bure. Sudden flare-up in fighting, as I've been saying since this morning, that after the end of New Year celebrations, we are seeing escalation in armed hostilities in the Amhara region. This escalation is mainly due to main offensives launched by Fano fighters on several fronts. I reported about Shore Orbit last night. Fano fighters entered Shore Orbit last night. Then I reported about Debre Marcos fighting at town square in Debre Marcos, now Bure. I have reports from other places too, but it takes time to verify. So much is being said in social media. Lies sometimes incorrect reporting, sometimes reporting for views, but it's better to verify things. No point in misinforming people. So I try to take my time. I have reports from 2 other cities too, but we're trying to confirm. So far, Bure has come under Fano control. As I said earlier, it's not that Fano would be able to stay in full control of Bure. A big military offensive from ENDF on Bure is very expected. And Fano has been trying to connect with Aguavi zone from Gajam side. Aguavi is under military control. A few days ago, if you remember, I reported about Fano fighters attack in Dangala. Dangala is in Aguavi zone. And from there, they kidnapped a war administrator. Later, he was released. But according to some Ago news sources, some Ago zone security officials were killed by Fano fighters in that attack. So Fano fighters don't have immense public support in Ago zone. If they remain in control of Bure, it means that from Bure they can move towards in Jibara, they can move in western direction deep into Ago zone where they'll face resistance, definitely. But Bure is strategic in terms of keeping Ago zone under pressure. Fano fighters don't want Ago zone people, Ago zone militias and forces to stand with Ethiopian National Defense Force. That is why we have seen small scale attacks in Ago zone by Fano fighters. Their main push is in Gajam, in Gondar, in Bahidar, but they're not pushing into Ago zone. Though at a later stage, they might push deep into Ago zone to connect with BG and then through BG with Sudan. So far, Bure under Fano control reportedly. Second, a video is in circulation shared by Fano fighter showing ENDF soldiers taken prisoner by Fano fighters. We have seen several videos showing ENDF soldiers taken prisoner by Fano fighters. Most of these videos show ENDF soldiers in uniform. In this video, soldiers shown in custody of Fano are mainly clad in civilian clothes. And Fano fighters can be heard talking to these prisoners who are saying that they are being provided with food and clothes by Fano fighters. So Fano fighters are trying to show that they are treating Oromo soldiers well. They are not torturing them, they are not killing them. That is what David Georges claimed 2 days ago when he was interviewed by journalists. He said that unlike Oromos who are massacring Amhara prisoners, mutilating Amhara prisoners, the Fano fighters are treating Oromo soldiers with respect, and they're not killing them, they're not torturing them. We don't know what is happening on the ground. It's difficult to get the ground reality in terms of treatment. What these ENDF soldiers are saying, it cannot be trusted because they are in the custody of Fano fighters. They'll say what they've been told to say. So you cannot trust their testimonies, their statements. But if Fano is not torturing ENDF soldiers, it's a good thing. It should be appreciated. But let's wait for the statements of ENDF soldiers who have been released, not in the custody of Fano fighters. Those who have been released or those who escaped, they can tell how Fano fighters are treating ENDF prisoners of war. Watch the clip shared by Fano fighters of ENDF soldiers in the custody of Fano fighters. Thanks for watching.
Anti መከላከያ ባልታችሁ አይደል ስለዚህ ወደዚህ እንድትመጡ ያደርጋችሁ መንግስት በሴራ ነው አይደል ያመጣችሁ ደግሞ ዳር ድንበር ወይም ደግሞ ጠረፍ እንድትጠብቁ ሳይሆን የአማራ ህዝብ እንዲጨፈጨፉ ነው አይደል እንዴ ስለዚህ እዚህ አምጥቶ ያስጨፈጨፋችሁ ያለው ያጋደላችሁ ያለው እንድትገሉም እንድትሞቱም ያደርጋችሁ ያለው ንጹሃን የአማራ ህዝብ ጋር ነው የአማራ ህዝብ ደግሞ ፋኖ ነው ከፋኖ ጋር ገጥሟችኋል አጣልቷችኋል አይደል ስለዚህ ይሄ የመንግስት ሴራ እንጂ አማራና ኦሮሞ ይባል አልተጣለም ነገር ግን መንግስት አጣልቶናል በዘመናት መካከል የጥላቻ መንፈሶችን እየሰበከ ያሰተርት እየሰጣችሁ እንድንጠላላ አድርጎናል ያንን ሳይገባችሁ መጣችኋል አሁንም ቢሆን የሚደርስባችሁ አንዳች ነገር የለም ተረጋጉ ምንም ችግር የለውም እኛን ተንከባክበን የቤተሰቦቻችሁ ጋር እንድትገቡ ለማድረግ ነው ይሰራና ያለ ነው በዘለክ ስለሆነ ምንም ሐሳብ ይግባብቻ ይደርስባችሁ ነገር ካለ ተናገሩ አይደለ ስለዚህ አብረን በጋራ መንግስትን እንዋጋዋለን አይደል እሺ አመሰግናለሁ እንደሚታወቀው ከደጋዳሞት የተማረኩ የመከላከያ ምርኮኞች ናቸው የተማረኩት በአማራ ፋኖ ነው እንግዲህ በመንግስት ሴራ ያለ ዕውቀት 15 እና